Hello, I'm going to be talking about Zombie Stage Round 1, and I'm going to be analyzing it and explaining any theories that I have for the rest of the series or for Round 2, and just kind of discussing it as well, and also looking back on the theories that I made before it came out. So what happened in the round? Well, basically, the whole round is kind of... Zombie Stage is, symbolism for what the idol industry actually goes through, you know? They sexualize girls and they're kind of treated as just as objects, you know? And that was what the round was trying to show, and them being zombies is kind of symbolism for that. And basically, Mizi and Sua, you know, they were trying to become idols. They didn't get in the first time, and then after they graduated, Mizi wanted to try again, and so they tried again, but only Mizi got in. And basically, she got really popular and stuff, but she kind of started getting corrupt, you know? And she had you could see the light leaving her eyes, and just as you went on. And Sua was sticking by her side even still. And then Mizi gets infected after a fight with Sua, and then Sua goes to find Mizi, and then infects herself by kissing her. And then we don't know how they got into Zombie Stage, but anyways. So then during the round itself, they were singing, and I'm gonna be talking about the round later, but I'm just summarizing right now. Basically, Mizi won, Sua lost. It was the same scores as round 1 in Alien Stage. And then they are gonna auction off Sua's limbs, which could be just her arm, could be all of her limbs. Honestly, I don't know. But I have a few theories. I don't think so, but anyways. Then you see Mizi's still singing and is kind of unfazed by it. And then it goes back to the rat that we saw at the beginning, and then we see Ivan whistling, kind of chained up and stuff, which I'll be talking about this with all of my notes that I have. Now, if we're going to analyze, so I took notes on everything that I saw or noticed from while I was watching it. So yeah, basically Mizi killed a rat. She kind of looks beat up. She's with Sua. The zombies are crowded outside of the circus. They're not anywhere inside, you know? Ivan and Luca, you can I'm pretty sure that those are their cages on the side when you see the circus, you know? And then you could see Sua and Mizi have posters, you know? There's merch of them and stuff. The audience is mostly grown men. They're all blushing. Even the two girls, actually there was one girl blushing, and then there was another girl there later. Mizi's outfit is revealing. Sua's outfit is not as revealing. Mizi's face and neck and shoulder is rotted. Sua's eye and her shoulder and leg are rotted. Mizi has kind of a visor on her face, you know? It's not like that, the heart is not her rotted design. There's a visor on her face. Sua has a white outfit, Mizi's is pink, and their dresses are more kind of kitty, you know, more cute looking than they were. I mean, they looked good in round 1, but they're more, you know, circusy, not circusy, but you know what I'm saying? They were trying to be K-pop idols. They seemed kind of bad at it though. They graduated and tried again. It was Mizi's idea. So it looks like she's kind of struggling, while they're auditioning, you know? Mizi gets in, and then scenes that you could see the scene when Mizi's about to go on stage look exactly like the scenes from Karma, you know? They're gonna throw knives at Mizi, which is kind of a popular kind of trick to do, I think, at the circus. So they do perform stuff on stage, you know? You could see that Mizi looks very out of it, and the light from her eyes is gone. She's getting more corrupt. Sua gives her clematis flowers, and Mizi just hands them off. Mizi's eyes were taken, which were called the eyes of love. Sua is mad at Mizi. Well, not mad, but she's like, what are you doing? This is bad, when Mizi's smoking. And then Mizi hits her, which it's not the first time Mizi's hit her. We've seen her hit her in like the comics, Sua stays by Mizi despite Mizi pushing her away. And then a zombie goes after Mizi. Sua gets a little solo, Then the news you could see is talking about the zombies. Then Sua breaks in. Sua, you can see there's hearts in her eyes, when she's saying like mocha mocha. And then she finds Mizi. It kind of looks like the scene, the parallels to Cure were crazy. Sua kissed Mizi multiple times as kids when she got infected at the end of the round. It goes back to black and white because everything was colorful before, but when it goes to Hyena, everything's black and white again, which could be symbolism. Crowd cheering, Hyena is shocked and disturbed. Mizi still sings while Sua gets chopped up. The dead rat show again, and we see Ivan chained up and whistling. His neck and wrist appear rotted. And then also, Mizi goes from saying, they go from saying, "Oh my sweet spark" to "Oh my sweet scar." And then, of course, we heard "My God, My Universe" in the song. Now, for the analysis part, we could see, I'm thinking that, I know a lot of people were saying Sua is like the dead rat that Mizi killed, because it was paralleling at the start and at the end. And then I think that they all have like their own cages, when you have circus animals, they have their little cages. So I'm thinking they all have their own cages, like we saw with, I think, our Ivan and Lucas cages. I think it's just them in the circus, because we're not seeing any other zombies, and only pretty zombies probably get to join, not like if they're, they must be popular because they have lots of fans and merch. It reflects reality of the K-pop industry. Even though Mizi's face is gone, they only care about her body. Rotting spots similar to nameplate areas and could have symbolism, like Mizi's face was seen as, she was known for her face and beauty, and what's gone in here? Her face. Mizi's eyes look dead. Mizi's eyes are taken, representing maybe her losing love for Sua. I don't think Mizi can see. Well, she can't see. Both of them are smiling the whole time. Which, even as Sua's getting chopped up, she's still smiling. There's lots of parallels to Alien Stage. That can't be a coincidence. I think that's gonna be a reoccurring theme. I think they're gonna include circus acts in the performances, maybe jumping through hoops or something, trapeze or whatever it's called, even if it was dangerous, because they don't care if the zombies get hurt. They look lifeless, like dolls almost. You can see that they still have consciousness because they were getting ready, they were performing, and Sua still had consciousness to kiss Mizi. So they still have consciousness, but they're like dolls. They're just kind of doing what they're told, The clematis flower given away kind of show, I think Mizi handing off the clematis flower kind of shows that Sua isn't her clematis anymore. Relationships are similar, but more extra. I don't think that Mizi was starting to act like Ivan until. You could see Sua was already obsessed with Mizi in the original. It's just more shown now. And, and with Mizi, I think she still loves Sua, but she's kind of in that headspace, she's kind of just messed up, and it kind of messed with it. But I think it's still the same dynamics. Maybe slightly different because of the different circumstances, but it's the same. So I think that Ivan and Till is still going to be one-sided. Or Well, at least Ivan's still gonna like Till, you know? And Luca still loves Hyena and stuff. I don't know if Hyena will still hate Luca, because I don't know we don't know what happened to her brother in this AU. Mizi and Sua, you could see that they still hang out as Mizi is like an idol, because they're like going on walks together when we see Mizi smoking. Sua, but despite having like a pretty long solo, she still loses. Her voice kind of cracks during the solo, which I'm thinking she sacrificed for Mizi, but how, you know? She could have been singing softer, but I think they sounded like the same. Mizi was chained up, and so during that scene Mizi was chained up, somebody had already found her. Somebody had to have already found her and chained her up. There's a lot of Till Ivan or Ivan Till parallels, but I still think that it's different. Sua infects herself by kissing Mizi, and Sua still has love for Mizi. Their dynamic is giving Hyena Luca almost. You know, like, they still love each other, but, you know, they're very dependent. And then Mizi still loves Sua, but almost, like, not hates her, but, like, is, like, annoyed, you know? So far, it's just Hyena breaking in. I haven't seen any of the other people. So, we still don't know what she's breaking. Like, yeah, she said she's gonna break it down from the inside. Being in the audience isn't technically the inside, so she's gonna go further. The colors were kind of used as understanding. The bright, colorful stuff is kind of saying how the audience doesn't, like, they're not paying attention to the horrors. And the monotone, kind of gray colors, meaning showing the true, like, the true story and how deep it, like, dark it is. Spark to Scar kind of represents their relationship, like they're each other's spark, their lights, and now they're just scars that keep hurting each other. Well, I'm talking about Mizi Sua. Hyena seemed genuinely concerned for them, I think, or she was just disturbed, or I think she's trying to help them. Ivan kind of seems like he acts the same, you know, because he was like whistling, kind of being by himself, and then he chuckles, like, I think laughing at the situation, kind of, you know, like, it sounds like something Ivan would do in Alien Stage. My God, My Universe are now just lyrics in a song, which were originally meant for Sua as, like, showing Mizi's love for her, are now just lyrics in a song. Now that we're analyzing the song, so the crowd cheers in the background. The song is about Mizi and Sua. Mizi and Sua say they have the same, well, Mizi says we have, like, the same dream. By the way, I'm not quoting the exact song. This was just kind of quick notes that I took. Clumsiness is okay. They still have each other. Sua says, when you're in trouble, like, SOS me, like, I'll help you. If you, like, when you're in trouble, call me. I'll come. It talks a lot about beauty, you know, and, like, they're like, oh, you're beautiful and stuff. And even if it hurts, I love it. Kind of shows the toxicity of the relationship. They love each other even if they're hurting each other. The ache is, like, you know, it's them. Sweet spark. It's representing how they're hurting each other. So it sings, even if we break, it's alright. So she's saying, even if we're, like, super broken and, like, everything's wrong, moving on to the theories. I think Maisie's gonna go against the round 2 winner. So like, let's just say that Till wins. Her and Till are gonna go against each other, and then the winner of that would like fight Luca. That's why, because he's, anyways, I kind of talked about this in my original, which I'm gonna go back to those notes later. Anyways, but I think Maisie's gonna go against round 2 winner, or she's gonna like escape, kind of like how she talked about in the comic. Because why would she, like, I kind of thought she was gonna escape during the first round with Siwa or something, but why would they say that in the comic if it wasn't important, I know a lot of people are talking about the picture for like the official soundtrack is like a bunny with like some limbs hanging underneath, and they're saying that like it's Maisie's eyes, obviously Siwa's arm, and people are thinking Till's heart and Ivan's intestines, or it could be Siwa's intestines and Maisie's heart, since she kind of symbolized that she doesn't love Siwa, but I think that was the eye symbolism, so I don't think so. And then there was a bow on the intestines, which could be for Luca, but I think that he's like the rabbit at the top, because, each character. And I think Luca's gonna be like super rotted on his face, because like the bunny's face is kind of messed up. Maybe Ivan protects Till from getting infected, and that's how he got infected, and then maybe he infects Till after. Zombie Stage has a lot of parallels to important scenes in the show. So I think that the meteor shower scene's gonna make a return. Maybe it's like Ivan's confessing to Till, and Till is like, no, and or something, and runs away. But then he gets infected, and Ivan finds him in an alley or something, and then Till bites him, but Ivan would let him. And then, or Ivan, I saw somebody had a theory that Ivan goes to the circus like as a human, and he sees Till performing, and he's just mesmerized. So he breaks in and lets Till infect him. I also saw another person say that like when you see them meeting Siwa in school together, it looks like the happy AU scenes from Weege. So they're like, was Weege just hinting at Zombie Stage? Was that like that from there? But if that was the case, that would mean Hyun and Luca were like married or engaged, and like Luca got infected, which would be kind of sad. What are some other canon like big scenes? Hyun Woo's, or however you say his name, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Hyun Woo's death, Hyuna's brother, that's like a big canon event, so I think it's gonna be important in Zombie Stage. Whether he got turned into a zombie or Luca turned him into a zombie when he was a kid or something, but I'm thinking that Luca didn't turn till he was an adult later, but I don't know. Anyways, what are some other ones? Again, Till wins round 2 in original. Maybe Ivan. I saw somebody like, what if Ivan tears out his heart to show his love to Till? And I'm like, oh, bro. I could so see that happening, but we'll see. Or he like offers up his own limb instead of taking Till's. Think Ivan Till Ivan is still one-sided, probably. The rabbits Luca, the heart scenes from Karma, I think they're important, cause I know I just wrote down heart scenes from Karma, and I was gonna write more stuff about it. Trying to think. I know it was important. So with Maisie and Siwa, their hearts are like I know that theirs are like half, and they need to have a whole heart, they need each other. And then with Ivan and Till, Ivan was forcing the heart. Yeah. And then Hein and Luca, it's like a big mess that Luca's holding all their hearts and stuff, and it's just broken. And then I do think that I don't know, I forgot. It was a cool theory that I had though, but I forgot it. In Ivan's past, wait, no. In Ivan's post, like the one that appeared when the round 1 was coming out, it was like Ivan was like Iraq about the first round or preliminary round. He wants to discuss the part where he was doing he's like something about I forgot, but I know he said that he like took his shirt off or something, and he did like 3 backflips or something, which that kind of sounds like something you do in a circus. So I don't think that post was just random, but kind of hinting at what would happen in Zombie Stage. So maybe have a revealing. Maybe he'll be the one with the revealing outfit, or both of them. I don't know. Round 2 is gonna also be about sexualizing like male idols, or like obsessing over shipping guys with each other, you know, because I know like a lot of people do that, and they're like real people, and you shouldn't do that. I think round 2's like audience is gonna be young, like teen girls, because that's usually like, if you look at like what are some, I don't know, I think what's Stray Kids, or if you look at like their audience, it's teenage girls. So yeah, Mizi, Hyuna, and Ivan, we're all singing the same tune, you know, like I think it's like a lullaby in their universe. I think that Mizi getting taken, her eyes of love getting taken, is not losing her love for Siwa, but being blinded by the industry, you know? You get what I'm saying? Because she can't see and stuff. I think Siwa let Mizi get infected, because you could see that Mizi was yelling at someone, which had to be Siwa, and then they were standing in clear view of seeing the zombie go after her. Maybe Hyuna gets infected by Luca at the end. Hyuna maybe has to explode everyone, because, you know, because if she really wants to truly help them, she's gonna have to end their misery, you know, which the only way they can die, I think, is by like totally like all of their, like, you know, their brains, everything gone, like exploded or burnt. The only, like I said, the only real happy ending is if they all die. Otherwise, the show will go on forever. Some questions to consider is, how do they keep zombies out of like the circus? Because you could see a bunch of them surrounding, but none of them I see inside. And I know everybody has a toxic side. Like, I'd say on the lesser side, Hyuna, because I think her only toxic trait is that she's kind of obsessed with Luca too, with like an unhealthy way, but not like being toxic. And then but with Till, he doesn't have any toxic traits. Like, all of his love was healthy. And a lot of people say it's because he had a mom growing up. He was a baby, he wouldn't remember that, and he got taken from her very young. So I think even though he had a mom, it didn't have an impact on why he's like now. But I'm saying, are we gonna see Till's toxic side? Because there's not really anything to build off of, so he couldn't get a toxic side. Unless he's like one of those fans that like Mizi. But I don't think he would be like that. Anyways, what is exactly Hyena's plan? Because is she gonna like go like, because she's in the she's in the circus, but she's not in the circus, so there's more to her plan. Why is Luca the final act? Probably because maybe he won, like, because if they have zombie stage, kind of like how they do alien stage like a few times, then maybe he like won the last one, so the winner is like the final act, and then everyone else has to like go and, you know, kind of, unless they don't do an in-between round between round 1 and round 2 winners, because they didn't really have round 3 on the poster. They just have round 1, round 2, and then final act. But we'll see. Do they sell all their limbs or just one at a time? Because they're chopping off Sua's arm, but are they going to sell like her legs, like her head, you know? And there has to be something worse than losing their limb. Because losing their... I think dying... In alien stage, they die. I think that was worse than... I mean, it's debatable. Worse than getting your limb chopped off. There has to be something more to it. You know? I don't know. We'll see. And since My God, My Universe was in a song, are they going to include Thank You for Being the Victim of My Shallow Emotions in Ivan and Till's song? Or like Luca Live With Love in Luca's song? Like maybe in Ivan and Till's song they're like singing blah blah, thank you for being a victim or something. And they're like talking about emotions or something. And then in Luca's song he might be talking about make sure you guys live with love or something, you know, as like a parallel. Whoa, I need water. Now going back to my notes from the trailer and stuff, we got looking at my theories. Like, well, if we're looking at like the analysis, I was right about Sua dying again because canon. I think I'm right about canon events, so I think it's gonna play out very similar to Alien Stage, but to change things up, it's gonna be slightly different, if not worse. Maisie didn't run. The heart gems were a recurring theme. Haina, I think, is the main character. Maybe they have actual fights. Sue's outfit did kind of mean death, so if Ivan's wearing... It kind of looked like he was wearing like a white t-shirt when you see him. So maybe he has a white outfit again, which could mean that he dies. Or not dies, I mean loses. They can function... It was kind of circus theme thing songs. Yeah, they are in cages. Relationships seem the same. They didn't do a dance for round 1. They don't die. They don't die at the end. Victors are, I think if they're not all like, if they dismantle all of them and ship them off, then the winners stay in the circus and the others get sold. And then do they need more? They're probably easily controllable because their brains are rotted. Just how you infiltrate the circus. Ivan and Till are gonna have a different thing since they don't... I'm kind of quickly summarizing what I talked about in my other theory video. Ivan and Till probably have something different since they didn't die. They don't die this time, you know? It'll be similar to round 6. It would make sense... Till losing again, it wouldn't be dramatic if he lost unless they're like it wouldn't be dramatic for him to lose, which I know they like to go for drama, so I think Till's still gonna win because since he wouldn't die, it wouldn't be as dramatic. They don't get this man told. I don't know if Ivan can sacrifice unless he just doesn't sing. And Till's not gonna be emo about Maisie being gone, so he's probably gonna be locked in. Hyena wasn't in zombie stage. She might destroy Luca beyond repair. And maybe in the end they'll have to perform for eternity. I don't think if they grow gems, No, because Sua's arm wasn't infected, so they aren't selling it to like get the gem parts. I don't think they have any value. They said it's a playground kind of, which we haven't really seen any of it. Also, Vino's posted a thing talking about new updates, which I don't know if it'll probably come out after I post this video. Little extra clips of school. Are you watching the movie? Maybe. I don't think. Maybe. And more questions. And I wrote happy ending in my questions considered ? And then in round 1 it said happy ending. That's funny. Anything important? And I think that one of my biggest questions is, what of Hyena's brother? You know? Anyways, that's all I had to say. If you have any other theories or ideas or just different opinions, then you can let me know. And yeah.